Okay, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, before I begin with this lesson, I want to start by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power. Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kakudash. The honors to the apostles, the elders, add great millstone who do well and teach well. And shalom to the hopeful elect, and you I can push in this word throughout the four corners of the earth with all truth and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. And this is going to be a lesson titled something to the effect of I'm just gonna title it "Work Out Your Own Salvation," because Jake thinks that just by being friends with another brother and just being cool with them, but they still going off and doing this and the third, behind closed doors, is gonna be enough for them to gain salvation. Okay, and they get that sense of comfort, right? And actually, before I open this up, let me get Book of James. Yep. Because it's about doing the works, okay? And not putting the load on other brothers to handle that work, right? Like that talent, right? Putting that talent in the napkin. You have the faith, you have the wisdom, but you're comfortable enough just by doing the bare minimum, not going out to the highways and the byways, going on to YouTube, making your lessons, so on and so forth, where you're putting the world before, the ministry. This is James 1:22. But be ye doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. Okay. You got to be doing something. Okay. You got to be doing your lessons. You just can't lean on, on brothers to, hold your hand 24/7, man. You got to become a man. Okay. This is verse 23. For if any be a hearer of the word and not a doer, he is like unto a man beholding his natural face in a glass. For he beholdeth himself and goeth his way, and straightway forgetteth what manner of man he was. You see, you hear the word, you hear the truth, you believe it, you have faith, and then once it closes out, right, the lesson closes out, you go back doing the same shit, right? 25, but whoso looketh into, verse 25, but whoso looketh into the perfect law of liberty and continueth therein, he being not a forgetful hearer, but a doer of the work, this man shall be blessed in his deed. You see, gotta apply this work. You gotta be doing it. Okay? This is the book of Philippians, chapter 2, if I'm not mistaken. Yep. Philippians 2 and verse 12. Wherefore, my beloved, right, the elect, as ye have always obeyed, not as in my presence only, but now much more in my absence, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You got to work out your what? Own salvation, man. You have the brotherhood to support you. You have the brotherhood to lift you up, so on and so forth. But us brothers can't deliver you, can't save you. Okay? We can't even save ourselves, man. So it would behoove you to do this, to go hard in this truth and to do it for your own salvation, man. That's how your mind frame shall be, because ain't no telling when shit hits the fan and things hit out of the blue and and you're living your day-to-day life, behind closed doors. You're not in the ministry, you're not really applying the precepts. You're out to, being just a regular Jake in the world, and shit hits the fan. You're not gonna be covered, bro. You're gonna be trying to call brothers, see where they at, see what they're doing, but it's gonna be null and void, man. That's why it says work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Right? The Most High is not a respecter of persons, man. Just because you got, other Israelites that are, fervent and doing what they need to do, still calling you up and checking on you, and, you call them up and they check on you, hey, that's null and void, because at the end of the day, it's about what you're doing for Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. Okay? And if you know the ministry, you already did the works, but you still out there, just being back in the world, and one foot in the world and one foot in the spirit, hey, the Most High is going to, purge you out of there. Your mind frame should be on this truth 24/7, man. My lessons. I need to make my lessons. I need to read. I need to study. I need to do this. I need to do that for the Lord, so that I can, have that that clear conscience coming into the times that we're coming into. You're seeing what's happening across the four corners, Jake. You're seeing the prophecies pop up. You're seeing everything at hand. You see the end is at hand, and you still want to, play that that two-way game. You in the world, but you're entertaining the world, but at the same time you're entertaining the spirit. Okay, and it's not gonna work out that way, because the scriptures say this. Let's get this. Revelations 3:16. I'm actually gonna start up. It's Revelations 3 and verse 15. I know thy works. That's what it starts off with. I know thy works. I see what you're doing. That thou art neither cold nor hot. You taking days off. Right, when the scriptures say putting out off from day to day. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou were cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. You see, the Lord's gonna spew out of his mouth. And when shit hits the fan, and shit, really, the famine of the word hits, and our phones get, jacked, internet gets cut off, zero, bang. That's it, man. That's it. And the Lord's gonna spew you out of the mouth if you haven't been doing what you need you to do. And that's gonna be a scary sight, man, because it's not about how you go out, right? It's not about, dying. It's about how you die. And the Lord's gonna have it set up out here. Jacob's trouble was for judgment, man. Before the charagma was set up, and then he might even have it to where you make it all the way through Jacob's trouble. You still haven't even took the charagma, but you wait to see the nukes hit. He'll reserve you for that Zechariah, right? That plague that's going to come upon the whole earth, where your eyes shall melt into your head, your tongue shall melt, right? Your body melting. The nuclear missiles going to reserve you for that judgment. And there's none that can deliver out of the Lord's hand, bro. We can't save you. No one can save you. You got to be working out your own salvation, man. Making sure you're making your lessons, making sure you're watching breakdowns, making sure you're studying. You are. Making sure you're praying, fasting, so on and so forth. You got to be doing that. This is the book of Exodus 23 and verse 2. Thou shalt not follow a multitude to do evil, neither shalt thou speak and cause to decline after many to wrest judgment. You see, you cannot be following the increments of this world. Yes, the scriptures do say we use the world, but that's not to abuse it. Right? Brothers balance themselves out by going to the bars. Brothers balance themselves out by, going to social events. Brothers balance themselves out by doing, certain hobbies that they're into. Right? We use the world, but as not to abuse the world. But, brothers ain't out there just acting like Jake that's out there in the world. Jake, how Jake is. They have a different type of spirit and cadence towards them when they're out there, using the world. Right? Jobs, things of that sort. Right? Letting not your left hand know what that right hand doeth. But this is the book of Matthew, chapter 7 and verse 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. This is why you have only a couple brothers, in these, camps, in the sincere camps, man, right? The brothers that push the 100% truth, right, according to the scriptures, right? Mainly they in GMS, the elders. You see how their camps are, man. Of course, when you go to the big cities, of course, you can have a bigger camp. But for, different locations, it's not so, right? And when you think about it, they may have a bigger camp, but look how dense that population is. Like Chicago, New York, right? LA, these major cities. It's a little bit of brothers compared to the whole density of that population. Verse 14, because straight is the gate and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And what is this narrow way? Let's get the book of 2nd Ezra 7 verse 6. Actually, I'm going to go up. I should probably just start from the verse. Yep. This is the book of 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 2. And he said unto me, Up, Ezra, and hear the words that I am come to tell thee. And I said, Speak on, my power. Then said he unto me, The sea is set in a wide place, that it might be deep and great. But put the entrance were narrow and like a river. Who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Okay. How are you going to be able to receive the kingdom if you didn't go through anything? Verse 6. There is also another thing. A city is builded and set upon a broad field, and is full of all good things. The entrance thereof, to get to that place that's full of all good things, thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, as if it were a fire on the right hand, and on the left hand a deep water. And one only path between them both, even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once. If the city now were given unto a man for an inheritance, if he never shall pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? We all want the kingdom, right? But guess what? In this walk, it's really a one-man thing. Yes, you have the camps. Yes, you have brothers in this ministry. But guess what? We are all fighting for that crown, man. We are all in that. We're all in this walk alone. Yes, we have the brotherhood, to help us and lift us up even, to a higher level. Yes, we got help. But nonetheless, it's about your own walk, man, your own faith. It's about your own faith. Okay. Because you got Jake, you had Jake that was in the camps, right? You had Jake that was in the bigger camps. They have, 6+ men. And guess what? Some of them still fell and went back into the world. Because it's not about, the multitude. It's about the elect. Okay? And let's get this. Ezekiel 14:14. Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job. Actually, I'm going to read up Salakia. 14:13, Ezekiel. Son of man, when the land sinneth against me by trespassing grievously, then will I stretch out my hand upon it, and I will break the staff of bread thereof, and I will send a famine upon it, and will cut off man and beast from it. I'm going to bring forth judgment, okay? Though these three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they should deliver but their own souls by their righteousness, saith the Lord power. Let's get Ezekiel the 9th chapter. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, and verse, I'll start at verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, the midst of Jerusalem. Jerusalem is the people before it's a place, okay? And set a mark, right, a tuav, upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst of. And this mark is a different mark than the mark in Revelations, the 13th chapter. This mark goes into the word tuav, if I'm not mistaken, going into a mark of exemption from judgment. Verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city, and smite, let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children and women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, or whom has the mark. Right, that's why not the and begin at my sanctuary. Then they begin at the ancient man, which before the house. You see. So man, you gotta be doing this for yourself. You gotta be making sure that your faith is your faith. Your faith is not ran by anything other than the faith that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua has given you. Right? You're not motivated to do the work because you're mad at something. You're mad at you now. You want to make one lesson, but you haven't made a lesson all month. Or some shit happened. Some bullshit's happening in your life, and now you finally want to do something. Right? Or now you finally feel like making it just because you feel like it. Right? You're how other Apostle Ronald said, you're on your own timeline. Right? You're not on the Lord's timeline. Now you want to do it whenever you feel like it. Whenever your spirit, nah, man, that's not how it works. The scriptures talk about Salakia. No, let me just get it. Let me see. Slightly paraphrasing. Goes into something to this effect. No. By the means of the code. Let me just get the word code. Just pop up. It's like, the water. There you go. Here it is. 2 Timothy 4:2. Preach the word. Be instant in season, out of season. Reprove, rebuke, exhort with all long suffering, patience, and doctrine, making sure you're teaching the right things, because we are going to be judged by our words. Okay. Verse 3. For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall heap to themselves teachers having itching ears, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth and shall be turned unto fables. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions. You see, you're going to go through shit, but that should not be your motivation to be pushing the ministry, or you're going to be on your own time. Do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. Okay? But nonetheless, man, just make sure, pray that Psalms. Let's get this. Probably close out with this one. Pray the Psalms, man. Because, just as we're getting closer to the end, and Esau's rulership is getting ready to come to an end, and our rulership is getting ready to, to be set up, what's going to happen? Esau, it's like Shaitan and his angels, they're gonna amp up, right? They're gonna strengthen their doubt demons, right? They're gonna strengthen their their left hand side demons. Doubt, Eve acting up, so on and so forth. This is the book of Psalms 51 and verse 10. Create in me a clean heart, O Yahweh, and renew a right spirit within me. Verse 11, cast me not away from thy presence, and take not the Holy Spirit from me, the Rokakudash, the faith, man. Got to make sure you're praying, this scripture, or these scriptures, like that. Because we need it, man. Right now is not the time to get weak. Right now is not the time to fall out. Right now is not the time to, hell no. Right now is a high time to awake out of sleep, bro. Right now it's not a time to hide your talent. Maybe you're slacking a little bit or whatever, or you were scared to do this and the third, but I would just say this, man. It'll behoove you now to start doing your lessons, man. Just get into the spirit before this shit cracks. Because we are here. Okay, get in touch with brothers. They have, get in touch with camps that are around you. Do what you need to do now. Because it is the end. We are at the end, and that's no doubt. But with that, man, I don't want to this lesson was edifying. I want to close out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to our power, Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Kakudash. Shalom.